Welcome to the live tonight. Tonight is a little different. This one is very emotional for me. It's very important to me. I want to say that. It's very, very important to me tonight. Very important. Excuse me, let me just fix this up a little bit. But I'm super excited about tonight because I noticed something today while I do a little bit of studying, while I was doing my studying. I noticed something that I'm aware of, but I still kind of do it sometimes. And I do mines when it comes to food. But we negotiate with ourselves far too much. We negotiate with ourselves far too much. Welcome to tonight's live. If you are watching it live, great. I'm grateful that you are here. Welcome. If you are watching a replay, no worries. You are right on time. Tonight's Bible verse is Luke 17 and 21. We are just going to slow this verse down and take it from a different perspective that we may have been taught growing up. Because I can tell from the way I was taught the verse growing up, it was taught very different. It was taught very different to me. I was thinking that there was a destination, and then when I got there, life would finally be the way I desired it to be. And I'm noticing now we negotiate with ourselves way too much, and that's the reason why a lot of our desires aren't met. A lot of our desires aren't met, and majority of the world is struggling. And it's because we negotiate with ourselves a lot. And I got that from just looking over this Bible verse again and again and again. Because I've been looking over this Bible verse for quite some time now since I've awakened. And tonight, something stronger stood out for me. And I'm going to be here. I'm definitely going to share this with you tonight because it's something that I want us all to remember. I desire for us all to remember that the kingdom of heaven is within us. It's within us, but we've been negotiating a lot with ourselves. We've been negotiating a lot outside ourselves to come to the same conclusion. It didn't work. There's still something missing. And there's a reason why, because that inner state of alignment hasn't remembered, it hasn't connected. And it's because we keep letting something hold us back from remembering. We're scared. I'll say it like that. Or it sounds like blasphemy. And it goes against what we've been taught. It goes against the conditioning that we've been taught. So it doesn't make sense to us right away. But it feels right. So explain that. It doesn't make sense. It feels like it's wrong. Well, it sounds like it's wrong, but it feels right. How does that? Welcome. How does that feel? Like it sounds right. It sounds wrong. It feels good, but it just doesn't make sense. There's a reason for that. We've been negotiating with ourselves for far too long. For far too long, we've been negotiating with ourselves. Okay, if I'll do this, then I'll feel better later. Or if I chase this, then I'll get the freedom that I desire. We've been negotiating for a long time instead of realizing that everything that we desire, everything that we seek, is already there. It's already within us. But we're too busy negotiating with ourselves to get to the bag, to get to the peace, to get to the happiness. And the moment we stop doing this, the moment we realize that everything that we desire, everything that we want, everything that we need is already here right within us. And tonight I'm going to express that to you through my learnings. And it is amazing. It is amazing because once you finally realize that none of that stuff that you desire was far out of reach and it starts manifesting and coming and showing up in your world, oh, let me tell you something. It's a different breed, okay? It's a different breed. So tonight we are discussing Luke 17 and 21. And I'm going to just cut right to it. The kingdom of God is within. Okay? This isn't a destination. Okay? This verse is about remembering. This verse is literally about remembering. Remembering. It's an inner state of alignment. We think that because we've been conditioned to think that once I get this, I'll get that. No. Once I die, I'll go to heaven, and then that's where I'll find my happiness at. That's where I find my peace at. Why? Why would we need to experience this, have this experience here on earth if it's going to take us to die in order to find that happiness and peace and prosperity that we are seeking? What would be the point of this experience at all? Hey, how are you? Make me understand that. There's nothing outside of you. That kingdom is experienced, not entered. It's experienced right here on earth. The kingdom of heaven is an inner state of alignment. And the moment we stop negotiating with ourselves, the moment we stop negotiating with ourselves, we'll realize that, hey, it was already there. Nothing was missing. Nothing was missing. It was there all along. Nothing was missing. And we'll be happier. We'll be more at peace. I should have never bothered it. It was fine. We will be more at peace. We will be more at peace. We'll be more at ease. So when we stop searching outside of ourselves for peace, outside of ourselves for love, outside of ourselves for validation, and realize that everything that we desire is already within us, we'll find happiness. Happiness will show itself. We'll become aligned. And we don't have to chase anything. All the things that we desire will show up in our lives effortlessly. We will manifest them. We will begin to attract them to ourselves. I used to think, okay, hey, hi Francine, how are you? I used to think that, okay, if I did this in my relationship, right? In whatever relationship I was in, if I did what the other person desired or what the other person wanted, then guess what? Eventually that love that I'm seeking will show up. It's not where it needs to be right now, but if I do everything that this person desires of me, then guess what? The love that I want it will come to me. It will show itself to me. If I just hold on a little bit longer, eventually I will get what I want. So I was always negotiating with myself, not realizing that everything that I desire I already had within. And it was never going to show up outside of me. It was never going to show up outside of me. I did it for years and it never showed up. But I negotiated with myself years after year after year with everything. Friendships, work, religion, everything. I even negotiated some things with God. Okay, God, if you could just answer this prayer for me right now, I'll be at peace. Not knowing that God was already within me. That whatever I'm seeking to happen outside of me wasn't going to make me happy within. It would never. It would change the situation. It would change the situation, but it wouldn't change the way I felt. It wouldn't stop that. It wouldn't. And we negotiate ourselves. We negotiate so much with ourselves. We even do it with food. Okay, I can have this piece of cake because tomorrow I'll start my diet. And then we keep doing that and we keep doing that. And we think that once we finally stop, it'll show up. Okay, we're happy. We lost that weight. No, it wasn't aligned. Once you're aligned and you remember who you are, all of the manifestation that you are seeking, the things that you desire to attract and bring forward to you will show up. But you have to stop negotiating because the kingdom of God is within you. Everything that you seek in, all that love, the peace, the prosperity, the happiness, it will find you. It will come to you. It will chase you once you stop chasing it outside of you. And I know this is tough to understand, but trust me, I get it. I get it. Because I've been there. I just told you, I negotiated and negotiated and negotiated with myself 24/7 and I never got it. And then I wondered why it wasn't happening for me. That's why it wasn't happening. Because I was too busy chasing something outside of myself, not realizing that everything that I desired, everything that I wanted, I already had. I just forgot that I had it. I didn't remember it. It was gone. And it's cool because that's in order for us to figure out who we are, we have to be who we're not. We have to be who we're not in order to figure out who we are. That's just the way life is. That's just the way it goes. But once we realize this, we stop negotiating. We let the negotiating stop. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to negotiate to please this person, and I'm going to do what pleases me. And watch how fast things start to change within. And then you will see it externally. But it has to start within first. And a lot of people thought that this verse meant, okay, once I die, I'll have that happiness I desired. Once I die, because now I'm going to go to heaven. No, that's not how it works. Heaven is already within you. All you have to do is remember it. And next week, we're going to talk about the whole process of remembering and what that state of being is and what that state of mind means. We're going to go through that all next week. But right now, with this verse right now, this is what it's saying. Wake up to who you are and stop thinking that things are going to change once the situation changes, because it usually doesn't. I've met millionaires that has told me they did everything to get that money. They did everything they could possibly do. They didn't sleep nights. They got up early and they got the money. But it was always something missing. It was something missing until they had to meditate, be still, and take their time within and learn who they are and what they truly desire and what their purpose is in order for them to actually even enjoy the millions that they made. So everybody, if you're sitting here thinking that once you get to the money, once you get to the bag, life will show up for you, that's not how it's going to work. You show up for you first. You show up for you first. Once you realize that everything that you're seeking outside of you is not there, you'll understand that it starts within first. And then all of those things that you desire will start attracting themselves to you once you start to allow that peace and that knowing to reside. And you're aligned with what it is that you truly desire. All right? Because that's just the way it goes. And trust me, I know. I used to live that life. I lived it for years and it never felt good. It never felt good. I always thought, okay, let me do this and then I'll get that. Let me do this and then I'll get this. Let me lose this weight and then I'll feel better. Let me get this amount of money and then life will change for me. That never happened. It didn't happen because everything that I was seeking outside of me wasn't showing up inside of me. So I was just draining myself, and kept draining myself until I just burnt out. And it took me to actually awaken to realize, oh, I've been doing this backwards all along. Nothing wrong, because again, I tell you all the time, in order for you to know who you are, you have to be who you're not first. It's just inevitable. That was the whole reason for us being here, is to have that experience. To have that experience so we can remember. Because the experience is the only thing that's going to bring forward that remembrance. If I get this relationship, I'll feel whole. Right. How many of you have actually got into a relationship that you were super happy in, but then over time it actually died down? And you like, wait, what's happening? What's missing? You were missing. You were seeking for something outside of you to please you and make you happy. And then when you realize that it didn't make you happy, now what? Now you starting back all over from square one. It starts with you first. You have to mirror that love that you show yourself. You have to love yourself just as deep as you love another before that love can actually stick, before that love can actually work. Because if you don't love yourself the way you claim you love another, you'll find out that love for another is fake. Sorry. That's just it. That's just it. If you give up all of you to please another, you yourself will resent the person that you're giving up all of the love to. Because you're giving up all of you. You're forgetting who you are and what power you possess. You're forgetting. You're forgetting that. You're forgetting that because you think that everything that you seek and everything that you desire is actually outside of you. I hate to hear someone saying, "Oh, I didn't live in heaven here on earth. I guess I'll live in heaven when I die." Why? Why would you think that? Why would that make sense? So you think that your visit here, your trip here was all for nothing? It wasn't. Here is where the heaven is enjoyed at. That's heaven all day, every day. But here, right here on earth, is where you remember what and who you are. So stop negotiating with yourself and realize that nothing is outside of you. That happiness that you're seeking is not outside of you. No, I hear people say all the time, "Oh, if I get this money, if I get this bag, I'll feel secure. I'll feel happy. Once I get all the money I desire, I'll be able to travel the world. I'll be able to do whatever it is. I'll find that freedom. I'll be at peace." It never happens that way. Again, I've talked to people that are millionaires. I've had conversations with them. This is not what they said once they got there. Some of them were lonely at the top. Not to say there's nothing wrong with getting the money. It's great. Let the money, you attract the money now. You align with the money. You manifest the money once you stop chasing it. And you'll find how effortless, whatever business you're in, you'll find how effortless the money attracts itself to you. And I know this sounds woo-woo-y, but I guarantee you it's not. I guarantee you it's not. I haven't clocked into a job, and I say this all the time, for over 5 years now. I believe it's 4 to 5 years now. And I'm not in lack of anything. Because I stopped chasing. I stopped chasing and I start aligning. And I start aligning with it. And I can see why a lot of people are so distracted, because this is not easy. It wasn't easy to get here. It wasn't easy to remember who I was. It wasn't. I was too busy being distracted by the conditioning. The conditioning is, you have to do this, you have to do that. If you do this, then you'll get that. If you do this, then you'll get that. And I kept doing it, and I didn't get it. And I was feeling burnt out. I was feeling tired. I was aggravated in my situation. I was aggravated in my marriage. I was aggravated with my children. I was overwhelmed. I'm like, why? I'm doing all the work. I'm putting in all the work, but it's still not showing up. Why? Then I start to slow down. I start being introduced to people to tell me, because you're going about it the wrong way. You think it's outside of you, but it's not. It's not outside of you. And that's the reason why you're worked up and you're overloaded and you are unhappy so much with your body, with your relationships, with your children, with your job, because you're chasing something that you think resides outside of you when technically it doesn't. That's what this verse is saying, Luke 17 and 21. The kingdom of God is within you. There's nothing missing. There's nothing missing. So all of those things that you are chasing and desiring, once you sit with you and remember who you are, you will find how easy it is to manifest, to align, to attract. Your consciousness, consciously you will be awoken to what power you possess and to who you really are. Once we stop doing this, and I told you, like I've been saying from the beginning of this conversation, stop negotiating with yourself. Once I get this, then I'll get that, and I'll be happy. I even hear them say, okay, God, if you just help me through this one situation, if you can, I know I'll be at peace. Okay, you're helped through that situation, and something is still missing. Something is still not sitting right, because you thought that it came outside of you. It didn't. It was within you. Once you wake up to that and remember that, you will find that life will mirror back to you how you feel within. And once you do that, the love that you seek, once you've loved yourself deeply and solely, like the love you expect from another, you will find that that's the type of love you will mirror back. Okay? Once you've done that, you can't just say, oh, I love me deeply, and then don't show it to yourself first. Show it to you first. Feel that way within first about yourself. And then you will have no other choice but to externally attract those things to you. That same type of love, once you showed yourself that type of love, you will see that type of love outside of you. When you show yourself that type of gratitude, you will see that gratitude show back up for you. That is what this verse is expressing. That kingdom of heaven that you think is a place up in the sky and you can only get there when you die is not it. Hi, Javier. It's already there. And once you've remembered that, then life will flow at a more peaceful, pace. You won't have to go through the hustle and the bustle and the anxiousness and the crying, the unhappiness. Trust me, I lived all of this before, so I can tell you. I did a lot of negotiating with myself, only to find out that that is not how it works. I've spent many a nights crying, unhappy, okay? Many a nights I spent thinking that if I do this, then that will happen. Or if I give this person all of me, and do what they're asking 24/7, then you know what? That love that I feel for this person will return to me. It never happens that way. And it didn't happen that way for me. I'm going to be honest. It never happens that way, but you can't blame someone else for that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's on you. You were told, but you didn't. You just been conditioned too much about what's going on around you. You've been conditioned to think that do for another and you will have more for yourself. No, do for yourself what you would do for another. And once you do for that person what you would do for yourself, guess what? It shows back up for you. That's just it. There's no way around it. Stop thinking that if I get to this bag, then you know what? I'll have that financial freedom. Even if you do have the financial freedom, you'll find that something else is missing. It all starts within. So glad to see your face, God. It's just strolling in. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it, Jerome. Thank you. Yes, it all starts within. Once we stop negotiating with ourselves, thinking like, okay, if I do this and if I do that, if I do this for this person or I don't eat this or I eat that, then guess what? I'll feel better about myself in the morning or I'll feel better about myself eventually. It never happens. It never happens that way. Once you realize that everything that you want is already within, then your world has nothing else to do. Reality will have to show you that. It will mirror the way you treat yourself. It will mirror externally. You will see it. It will show up. This is what manifestation means. Once you've embodied this belief and you believe it and you show it, you treat yourself that way, it's inevitable. I hate to hear girls say, oh, and I know, because like I said, I lived this life forever. Oh, if I do this, oh, maybe he'll love me. Yeah, I did that. I did that for years, 16. And it was never replicated. And I'm not mad again because I chose to do it. I chose to do it. So guess what? Even when I was being shown, let it go, Shakol. It's okay. It's never going to replicate. But I just said, nope, I'm committed to it. And guess what? It never showed, and I'm happy with it. I am at peace with it, okay? I am truly at peace with it. No love lost. Just was something, it's made me better. It made me a higher version of myself, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because I learned a lot from the lesson. It was a door. That's what I like to say it was. That relationship was a door for me. It was my door to my awakening. And I'm more blessed from it than I would have been without it. That's how I truly feel about that relationship. I'm more blessed for it than I would have been without it. I'm not in it now, but it led me to the higher version of myself. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. So I want y'all to understand and sit with this tonight. Everything that you're seeking, that peace, the freedom, the happiness, the finance, the prosperity, you already possess it. You already possess it. Now you just need to embody it so it can show up in your reality. Seek the information. Seek the knowledge if this doesn't make sense. Or come here. Watch the videos. I speak of these things. Or there's a lot of people on YouTube that speak of these things. The knowledge is there. If you want the change, you have to be willing to make the change. Go about the change. Follow that. Because guess what? It's not going to stop knocking. It's going to keep knocking until you get it. It's going to keep knocking until you get it. And you may not get it this lifetime. That's cool. But you can come back the next. And I know that sounds but you can. Just know that you can. You can. Look. And there's a question that I do want to ask you guys. There is a question. And I have the question written down. Who here was taught that peace comes after you get it together? Who here was taught that once you get it together, the peace that you're searching for, the love that you're searching for will happen? Look, I just told you I was. And it's just conditioning. It is nothing more than conditioning. We were taught, do this and you'll get that. Work harder and this will show up. I know so many people that work so hard and worked hard year after year after year, and they're still living paycheck after paycheck after paycheck. Burnt out, unhappy, hate the job they're in. And I mean, people complain about hating their job 24/7, but still showing up. Hate I won't do it. But hate the crap out of their job, but still shows up because they've been conditioned that, you know what, let me just hold out a little bit longer and then it'll show up for me. Then I'll get that promotion or then I'll get that raise. Let me just stick in there just a little bit longer. Burn out just a little bit more, and it never shows up. It never shows up because guess what? You have to honor what you feel within first. You are unhappy there. Move on. Move on. Stop accepting the comfortability that happens to you because you get to show up at a job and it'll pay the bills, but that's it. You can't take that nice trip to Italy or to whatever country you may want to be because you're just conditioned to, okay, let me just keep showing up. Unhappy as hell. Let me just keep showing up. And once I do that, then I'll get that promotion. I'll get it. It'll show up for me. It never happens. It's not going to because you're seeking that happiness and you're seeking that comfortability is something outside of you at a job where you know you don't feel good at. It doesn't make you feel good. And I know this sounds crazy because we've been conditioned to think work hard, 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 hard. Burn out, out. Burn out, burn out, burn out. And then eventually you'll get it. And then when it comes time to retire and rest, now resting season has reached. You ain't got a pot to piss in. But you did what you was told to do. You did everything you was taught to do. But it just didn't show up for you. So now you think, oh, let me just die. Now it's time to die and I'll get that. Everything that was missing here, I'll get it in heaven. No, baby. Heaven is a different place. Heaven is here. Heaven is the inner state of alignment. It's here. Where you go from after here, I'm not going to get into that, but you may not understand where you go after here. So that heaven that you're seeking is right here. It's within. Jesus told you, Luke 17:21, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The Creator is within you. The Christ consciousness is within you. The higher version of yourself is within you. It's there. All you need to do is remember it. And don't worry, I'm going to help you with that because this week we're going to discuss what remembering looks like and what it is. Because most people don't know. They come on these channels, they watch these spirituality videos, and it's telling you do this in order to get that, and remember this in order for it to show up, for you to be aligned, for you to wake up. But it's not enough. Because trust me, I used to watch the videos, but eventually the more you watch them, something clicks. You'll notice that your spirit shifts. That's why I say stick with me. That's why I always say stick with me. Or if you don't, there's a bunch of people on YouTube. There's a bunch of people on YouTube who have awakened to this remembrance. So you have me, you have them, and this is your year. It is the year of awakening. And collectively, like I say all the time, we take back what's ours. The change shifts. We're already in it right now. It's happening right now. And I also have an email. Feel free to email me. I'm always up. Trust me. When my spirit is weighing on me and it's time to write and meditate and express, look, listen. Email me, shakolesworld@gmail.com. The same name as my channel name, shakolesworld@gmail.com. And I have no problem with having a conversation with you about it. Because like I said in the video before, this journey can be a little tough when you're doing it alone. You feel alone, but you're never alone. Let me tell you this from now. You can't be. The Creator lives within. We are all one. I love y'all. I'm not going to keep y'all any longer. If y'all don't have any questions, I am going to sign out, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm sending love, peace, and joy to you. I'm only going to send you portions of it. You have to be able to receive it. Hey, Mason, how are you? Yeah, and I'm here. So where have you been? I'm always here. I've been here for this whole month, every night at 7 p.m. That's going to change next month. Next month, I'll only be live on Saturdays for Remembrance Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. I don't remember what state you're in. I've been on really... Oh, nice. Nice. That must have been really nice. I'm glad you were able to take that trip. God bless. God bless. That's nice. A nice long cruise. I'm thinking about doing a cruise. I haven't done one yet. I'm not a fan of the water. Star of the seas. Okay. Okay, nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mason. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back for another 30 minutes tomorrow for the rest of this month, every evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great evening.